On a serene fishing trip, Marvin snapped a picture of his wife Lena, proudly holding up her catch of the day. It was meant to be a simple, joyful memory of their day together. But when they looked at the photo later, their smiles faded, replaced by expressions of sheer disbelief. The image revealed something in the background, something neither of them had noticed, turning their pleasant memory into an unsettling mystery. They had just come home after a beautiful day, and they were enjoying a glass of wine after dinner. Everything had been perfect, and they had had so much fun, but now it was as if a dark shadow crept into their happy and cozy home. "Babe, do you see that?" Lena asked, her face turned pale and her voice trembling with fear. Marvin zoomed into the photo and he gasped when he saw it. Behind Lena's cheerful pose, there was something else to be seen in the water, something he had captured by accident and without even noticing. "I can't believe we've missed that," he said, looking at his wife with wide eyes. "Well, we have to do something, right?" she replied. "What do you want to do? Should we go back? Or should we call the police?" he asked, unsure of what would be the right course of action to take here. He didn't want to put himself and Lena in a difficult or possibly even dangerous position, but he understood very well that they could not just ignore this. They decided to call the police immediately, and Marvin grabbed his phone and dialed the number. He held Lena's hand and softly squeezed it as he listened to the ringing sound, waiting for somebody to pick it up. Thoughts raced through his mind. What should we do if nobody picks up? Do we have to back there ourselves? But then he finally heard a voice. "Good evening. This is Officer Richardson. How can I help you?" Marvin jumped up and introduced himself before explaining why he was calling. "I was on a fishing trip with my wife today, and we were just looking at some pictures we had taken there when I saw something in the background." The officer urged him to continue, but didn't seem very interested in the story. Marvin finally told him what it was that he had spotted in the distance, far away from him and Lena, and the officer did not respond for a moment. "Sir, are you still there?" Marvin asked, thinking that he might have hung up on him. "Yes, I am. Please hold for a moment. I'll be right back," the officer replied, and the awful on-hold music started playing. "He put me on hold," Marvin said to Lena, trying to suppress his annoyance. "You'd think they would take this kind of news seriously, right?" She told him to calm down. "You don't even know what he's going to say. Just wait for him to return. I'm sure they will handle it. Maybe he's discussing something with a colleague?" Marvin sighed, and he was just about to complain again. But then the music stopped, and he directed his full attention back to his phone. He heard the officer say, "Thank you for waiting, sir. It would be great if we could ask you some questions. Could you come to the police station right away?" Marvin was caught by surprise. He had not expected to hear something like this. "Well, officer, I definitely would, but my wife and I just shared a bottle of wine and I'm not sure we should be driving." The officer chuckled and said, "No problem, I understand. In that case, my colleague and I will come to your house instead. What is your address?" A few minutes later, he ended the call and told Lena, "They are on their way." He could see that she was worried, and he told her, "Don't stress it. They just want to ask us some questions. I guess they want to look at the picture, and they might even go back there to start an investigation. I'm not sure. Either way, don't worry. We just took the photo. We have nothing to do with it, okay?" Lena took a deep breath and nodded, but she was obviously very upset over the whole thing. "Marv, I still can't believe it. How could we have missed such a thing? We have to go back. But what if it's too late? I can't even think about this," she said with a big sigh, and she started washing the dishes. Not much later, the doorbell rang and Marv jumped up. He quickly went to open the door and let the officers inside their house. "Welcome, Officer Richardson, is it?" he said as he shook the first officer's hand. "Yes, thank you. This is Officer Brooks," he introduced his colleague. Marvin led them inside and offered them a drink, which they both declined. "Could we see the picture you told us about?" Officer Richardson asked, and Marvin nodded and grabbed his phone. "Here it is," he said, as he unlocked it and handed it to them. The officer looked at it closely, and then suddenly his eyes grew wide. Brooks, take a look at this," he said to his colleague and handed him the phone. "And you really haven't seen or heard anything unusual while you were there? You only noticed this when you looked at the picture after you got home?" the officer asked Marvin and Lena, trying to gather more information. They nodded, and he sighed, realizing that he would need to go to the scene where the photo was taken as soon as possible. Officer Richardson sent the photo to his colleagues back at the police station, telling them to start an investigation immediately. He and Officer Brooks were going to the spot where Marvin and Lena had taken the photo, ready to search the water. They needed to hurry. "You drive, and I'll call our colleagues at the Marine Police." Lena and Marvin's quiet evening was suddenly disturbed by a knock at the door. Opening it, they found their neighbor Jake, standing there with an expression of deep worry etched on his face. His unexpected appearance at such a late hour immediately filled the room with a sense of concern. "Is everything okay, Jake?" Marvin asked, sensing the urgency in his neighbor's demeanor. Without beating around the bush, Jake blurted out his reason for the late visit. "It's my younger brother, Daniel," he began, his voice shaking slightly. "He went out on a fishing trip a few days ago and hasn't returned. We've been hoping that he'd just lost track of time or something, but now we're really worried. It's not like him to just vanish." Jake's face was a canvas of anxiety as he continued. "We've been trying to keep our spirits up, telling ourselves he'll walk through the door any moment, but it's been too long," he said. "My family's decided that we can't just sit and wait anymore. We're going to alert the authorities first thing in the morning. It's highly unusual for Daniel to disappear without a word to anyone." Listening to Jake's troubling news, Lena and Marvin shared a significant look. An unspoken realization seemed to dawn upon them. Could there be a connection between Jake's missing brother and the peculiar detail they had spotted in their photograph? The coincidence appeared too striking to be mere chance. A mix of anxiety and a strange curiosity began to take hold of them. With a growing sense of duty mingled with apprehension, Lena finally spoke up. "Jake, there's something you should see," she said, with a hint of hesitation in her voice. Marvin nodded in agreement, reaching for his phone. They had an inkling that the photograph might contain a clue related to Daniel's mysterious disappearance, even though the exact nature of the clue was still shrouded in uncertainty for them. Lena gingerly handed her phone to Jake, displaying the photograph they had taken during their recent fishing trip. It was a beautiful, serene shot of the ocean, but there was something in the image that had caught Lena and Marvin's attention. As Jake held the phone, squinting at the picture, Lena and Marvin watched his face closely, bracing themselves for his reaction. Marvin reached over and zoomed in on a particular spot in the photograph. "Look there," he pointed. In the distance, almost blending into the waves, was an arrangement of floating debris. On closer inspection, it bore an uncanny resemblance to an SOS signal. The realization hit them like a wave, a silent cry for help adrift in the vastness of the ocean. A heavy silence fell over the room as the implication of what they were seeing sank in. Jake's face drained of color, his hands trembling slightly as he held the phone. "Could it be?" he started, but his voice trailed off, choked by growing concern. The thought that Daniel might be out there, possibly stranded and in danger, was a harrowing possibility they couldn't ignore. In the midst of the shock and worry, Lena tried to inject a note of hope. "This could be a lead," she said gently, trying to comfort Jake. "This photo, it might be exactly what we need to find him." There was a flicker of hope in Jake's eyes, a spark amidst the dread. The photograph, though alarming, provided a tangible clue in the unsettling mystery of Daniel's disappearance. They sat together, the room filled with a tense atmosphere as they pondered over the fate of Daniel. What had happened out there on the water? How long had he been stranded, if indeed the SOS was his? Was he injured or worse? The questions swirled around, each one layered with fear and urgency. But overriding all was the pressing question. Could they find Daniel in time? The news about the photograph and Daniel's disappearance rippled through the tight-knit community like a stone skipping across water. Phone calls were made, messages sent, and soon almost everyone in the small coastal town was aware of the unfolding situation. Concerned whispers filled the air as the community realized one of their own was in potential danger out on the vast, unforgiving ocean. In response to the distressing news, neighbors united with a common purpose. They came together, a mosaic of different faces and ages, each one determined to contribute. Some organized a search party, while others pooled resources, offering boats, supplies, and expertise. The sense of camaraderie was palpable, their shared mission bringing them together in a powerful display of community spirit. With the new evidence in hand, the community didn't hesitate to contact the authorities. Calls were made to the local police, the Coast Guard, and anyone who could lend a hand in the search. The photograph, with its distant SOS signal, was forwarded, adding a crucial piece to the puzzle of Daniel's disappearance. The wheels of a larger search operation began to turn, spurred on by the community's prompt action. As word continued to spread, the collective efforts gained momentum. More community members joined, each bringing their own skills and resources. Fishermen offered their boats, locals with drones provided aerial views, and volunteers prepared food and supplies for the search teams. The initial ripple of concern had turned into a powerful current of action, everyone driven by a shared goal: to find Daniel and bring him home. The community stood as a united front, a testament to their solidarity and determination. The situation had brought them together in a way that transcended daily routines and personal differences. It was a remarkable display of human empathy and cooperation, all focused on a single aim. Their unity was more than just a response to a crisis. It was a powerful embodiment of their collective commitment to finding Daniel and supporting one another in trying times. The Marine Police, bolstered by Officers Richardson and Brooks, swiftly launched a sea search operation. Guided by the location indicated in the photograph, they set out with determination. Boats were prepared, equipment checked, and teams briefed. The sea stretched out before them, a vast canvas upon which they hoped to uncover the mystery of Daniel's disappearance. As they embarked on their search, the team was acutely aware of the ocean's unpredictability. The sea was a capricious entity, capable of serene calm and terrifying fury. Navigating these waters required skill, experience, and respect for the elemental forces they were up against. The vast expanse seemed to dwarf their efforts, a reminder of the daunting task that lay ahead. Time was of the essence, and everyone involved knew it. Each minute that passed could be critical in determining Daniel's fate. The search teams meticulously combed through the designated area, their eyes scanning the water for any sign, any hint that might lead them to Daniel. The atmosphere was tense, each team member acutely aware that time was not on their side. The search was not without its challenges. The natural elements, wind, waves, and currents, played their part, creating navigational obstacles that the team had to constantly adapt to. They had to be vigilant, constantly adjusting their course, battling against the whims of nature to maintain a thorough and systematic search pattern. Despite the myriad of challenges, the determination of the search team never wavered. Each member was fueled by a steadfast resolve, driven by the hope of finding Daniel. They knew the odds they were up against, yet their spirits remained unbroken. In the depths of the unpredictable sea, their unwavering determination shone as a beacon of hope amidst the uncertainty. In the midst of the relentless search, a piece of driftwood is spotted, floating aimlessly. As it's pulled aboard, the searchers notice hastily scratched markings on its surface. The discovery sends a wave of anticipation through the team. Could these markings be a message from Daniel? The possibility that he might have left a clue rekindles a flicker of hope in the hearts of the searchers. With the driftwood securely on board, the team huddles around it, examining the markings with intense scrutiny. Each line, each scratch is analysed as they try to decipher any potential message. The urgency is palpable. If these markings are indeed from Daniel, they could hold the key to finding his location. Every second spent analysing brings them closer to understanding his plight. The driftwood and its cryptic markings prove to be a crucial lead. As experts and searchers debate and discuss, they begin to narrow down the potential areas where Daniel could be. This piece of wood, adrift in the vast ocean, has become a beacon guiding their efforts. The search area is refined, and the teams redirect their efforts with renewed focus. The discovery of the driftwood ignites a renewed sense of hope, not just among the search team, but throughout the entire community. People cling to this new development, allowing it to fuel their determination. The mood shifts from one of growing despair to cautious optimism. The community bands together even tighter, their resolve strengthened by this promising lead. The markings on the driftwood are more than just random scratches. They are a testament to Daniel's will to survive. They indicate his determination to leave clues for his rescuers, his refusal to succumb to despair. This evidence of Daniel's resilience serves as a powerful motivator for the search teams. It's a reminder that Daniel is fighting for his life, and so must they. With new information from the photograph and the cryptic driftwood, the Marine Police make a strategic decision to expand their search radius. Every vessel, every pair of eyes is now focused on a larger expanse of the ocean. The vastness of their task is daunting, but the clues they've gathered provide a renewed sense of direction. The ocean's immensity won't deter their steadfast mission. During their expanded search, the team spots a small, uninhabited island. This island, shrouded in local lore, often goes unnoticed, a mere speck in the vast ocean. Its isolation and obscurity instantly draw the attention of the search team. Could this overlooked landmass hold the key to unraveling the mystery of Daniel's disappearance? Speculation mounts among the search team. Could Daniel, in a desperate bid for survival, have found refuge on this obscure island? The thought ignites a flurry of activity and discussion. The island, though small and seemingly insignificant, suddenly becomes the focal point of their search. It's a glimmer of possibility in the overwhelming expanse of the sea. With no time to lose, the team quickly redirects their search efforts towards the island. Speed is of the essence. Every moment counts. The boats cut through the waves, racing towards the mysterious landmass. Hearts pounding and hopes rising, they prepare for what they might find. Could this island be the breakthrough they've been desperately hoping for? As the team approaches, the island's relative obscurity and isolation add an air of mystery and intrigue to the search. The island, with its untamed vegetation and rugged shoreline, seems detached from the world, a secret haven forgotten by time. What secrets does it hold? Could it have been a sanctuary for Daniel? Or will it be just another piece in the increasingly complex puzzle of his disappearance? The search team cautiously approaches the island, each step heavy with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. Their eyes scan the rugged terrain, and their minds race with possibilities. The island, once just a speck on the map, now holds their undivided attention. As the boat nears the shore, the reality of what they might find weighs on them like the ocean's depth. Upon landing, the team is met with immediate signs of recent habitation. A makeshift raft, cobbled together with driftwood and frayed rope, lies abandoned at the water's edge. Nearby, torn clothing flutters in the breeze. These items, forlorn and weather-beaten, suggest someone made it to the island, igniting a surge of hope and urgency in the rescuers. The scene paints a vivid picture of desperation. The raft, a testament to survival instinct, and the torn clothing, evidence of a struggle against nature's elements, speak volumes. This discovery intensifies the search. Every moment on the island is charged with a renewed sense of purpose as the team delves deeper into the wild terrain, driven by the silent narrative of survival they've uncovered. The team ventures further inland, their senses heightened. Each step reveals more of the island's untamed nature. The dense foliage and uneven ground challenge their progress, but determination fuels their strides. They search for any sign, any clue that might lead them to Daniel. The island, once silent and undisturbed, now echoes with the sounds of a fervent search. In a small clearing, the team stumbles upon a makeshift shelter cobbled together from branches and leaves. Nearby, the remnants of a campfire are evident, its ashes still holding the memory of warmth. These clues unmistakably confirm someone's presence on the island. Each discovery narrows their search, painting a clearer picture of a castaway's plight and resilience. As the search team ventures deeper inland, the island reveals more of its secrets. They come across footprints in the mud, a trail of human resilience amidst the wild. With each step, the signs grow more frequent, telling a story of someone's unyielding attempts to survive in this secluded haven. The team follows these markers, each one a breadcrumb on the path to finding Daniel. Scattered across a small clearing, empty shellfish shells glisten in the sun, remnants of makeshift meals. Nearby, an ingenious contraption made of leaves and branches stands, designed to collect rainwater. These finds are more than mere objects. They are testaments to the resourcefulness of a lone survivor, someone who fought to secure the basic necessities of life against all odds. The traces they discover paint a poignant picture of a lonely fight for survival. Each sign speaks of long, solitary days and nights, a struggle against the unyielding forces of nature. The search team can't help but imagine the determination and strength it took to endure such isolation. They push forward, driven by the silent story of perseverance they're unraveling. As they find more evidence of someone's survival, a tenuous thread of hope weaves through the team's efforts. The possibility that Daniel might still be alive, against all odds, clings to them like the island's damp air. With every discovery, this hope strengthens, urging them to search every corner, every shadow for a sign of life, for a miracle. The clear signs of Daniel's determination to stay alive resonate deeply with the search team. They recognize in these signs a kindred spirit, a will to endure that mirrors their own commitment to finding him. Motivated by this shared tenacity, they press on, their resolve unshaken, knowing that every moment, every effort brings them closer to Daniel. Nestled within a concealed cove, they find a cave, its entrance partly hidden by overgrown foliage. Inside, shielded from the relentless elements, lies Daniel. Weakened but conscious, his eyes flicker with a mix of disbelief and relief as the search team gathers around him. It's a moment of profound triumph, a fleeting pause in nature's indifferent rhythm. "Thank you," Daniel utters, his voice a hoarse whisper laden with emotion. Those first words, simple yet profound, resonate through the cave, echoing off the walls and into the hearts of the rescuers. Relief floods the space, palpable and overwhelming. The tension of the search melts into a shared moment of human connection and gratitude. The cave, Daniel's makeshift sanctuary, reveals the clear signs of his indomitable will to survive. Makeshift tools, a bed of leaves, walls marked with the passage of time, each a chapter in Daniel's story of survival. Here, in this unassuming refuge, the sheer scale of his endurance becomes evident, etched into the very stone and soil. As Daniel speaks, his story unfolds. A tale of rationing meagre supplies, of clinging to hope with each sunrise. He speaks of long days filled with the singular focus of staying alive, of nights filled with the fervent prayer for rescue. It's a narrative of resilience and resolve, of a man who refused to surrender to despair. Daniel's rescue becomes more than a successful mission. It transforms into a testament to human endurance and hope. His story, one of survival against incredible odds, resonates far beyond the confines of the island. It's a narrative that captures the essence of the human spirit, a reminder of the extraordinary resilience that lies within each of us. The journey back from the island, with Daniel carefully ensconced aboard, feels surreal. The boat slices through the waves, heading towards safety, towards civilization. At the hospital, Daniel is swiftly taken under medical care. The community, having been on edge since his disappearance, now buzzes with a mix of anxiety and hope, waiting for any news of his condition. Outside the hospital, a crowd gathers. It's an impromptu assembly of concerned faces, a physical manifestation of the community's collective worry. People who've known Daniel since childhood, who've watched him grow, stand shoulder to shoulder, their expressions mirroring the same question. How is he? Their presence speaks volumes about the bonds within this tight-knit community. When Jake finally sees Daniel, the moment is charged with raw emotion. He rushes to his brother's side, and their reunion is a poignant scene. Tears, laughter, and relief mingle as they embrace. Two brothers, separated by an ordeal at sea, now reunited. Words seem superfluous. Their embrace says everything that needs to be said. In the aftermath, gratitude becomes the prevailing sentiment. Jake and Daniel, their bond strengthened by the ordeal, express their heartfelt thanks to Marvin and Lena. It's a profound recognition of the crucial role the couple played, their chance discovery leading to Daniel's rescue. Their gratitude is echoed by the entire community, their relief palpable and profound. Trip. The fishing trip that started as a simple excursion for Marvin and Lena has morphed into an unforgettable event. It's a journey that has forever altered their lives and the fabric of their community. The photograph, once a mere snapshot, now symbolizes hope and resilience. It's a reminder of how an ordinary day can turn extraordinary, how a single moment can ripple out to change many lives.